on my stream. Right, guys, my camera. Okay, there's a problem with my camera. Anyways, let's start the session. Uh, Hope everything is clear. Let me double check. Right, all good. Let's start. So let's start with the key points. So first of all, we had the Australian inflation rate, right? We had the Australian inflation rate today. As you guys know, Australia started releasing their monthly inflation CPI report from last year November. Uh, right. Right, here we go. So here we initially we had the Australian CPI. Unfortunately, I was not at the desk at that time. It was like 3:30 in the morning in European time zone. So let's just look at the headline prints. What kind of data we got, right? So first of all, the CPI headline prints, like almost all the data prints are generally negative, right? CPI month of month was 0.4 versus 1.1 previous. CPI YOY was 4.2 compared to 4.6, and weighted median CPI was zero point 0.2, dropped by 0.1. YOY weighted mean CPI YOY was unchanged, and other trimmed uh, mean CPIs were also unchanged and zero point 0.1 increase in YOY. Anyway, right? Anyway, this is kind of negative for me from my perspective. I'm. It's because if we look into the past few data from Australia, right? We were seeing high unemployment rates, right? And you guys know the basic theory behind this unemployment rate, right? When people lose their jobs, right? When people don't have jobs, which indirectly tells us their disposable income is less, like the amount of money they can spend on daily activities or their day-to-day household activities is less, right? For example, just think like uh, I'm receiving, for an example, I'm receiving $4,000 per month, right? Just for an example, right? What if I lose the job from the next month onwards, or the month after? I will stop getting that $4,000. So which means I have to cut my expenses until I find another job, right? So which means if I had 6 meals per day, I need to cut it into three meals, right? If I were going to fancy restaurants and having a lot of junk food and uh, pre-made food which cost a lot. I have to cut off them all and stick to homemade meals to save money, right? So which means indirectly when a person lose his or her job, right, a part of the money which is circulated in the whole economy goes away, right? They start to cut off the expenses, which means indirectly, right, when we are spending that money is money goes to another shop owner or another party, right? When a person starts to cut their expenses, right, start to cut their expenses, that part of money is taken out of the circulation, like in the circulation of the money throughout the economy, which tends to which ultimately uh, affect in drop drop in demand for goods, right, which will again finally impact on lower inflation. So I was kind of expecting this kind of signal, right? But this, like, as a print, this is not like super bearish, but this is enough for me to think about Australian dollar little bit kind of bearish, because we had couple of fundamental data prints, especially unemployment, now CPI also like dropping. So as we know, Reserve Bank of Australia has main two mandates, like it has three mandates, and out of three, two mandates are like maintaining price stability and improving the labor market, like lowering the unemployment rate. So which somehow, like at this point, right, at this point up to now, RBA, Reserve Bank of Australia, had the problem, had the issue of higher inflation rates, so they could not start start easing their monetary policy, right? Now what I see is, now they are getting good signs of inflation getting back to their 2 to 3%, 2 to 3% range, which is quite good, which market participants would start to think of, right? Which market participants would start to think of. Now the Reserve Bank of Australia will start to, right, reduce their rates, right? So far, net non-commercials are squeezed towards too long, still bear bullish crowded, but I think in next couple of weeks they will start to unwind their buy positions and start to build uh, build their short positions, and I will closely watch to this retail sentiment. Now the retailers are switching towards to, like, they are closing their short positions, right? I will show you once again. So this is 1 week ago, net longs of 24.4%. Now it's like 28.8%, 4%, 4.4% increase in the net longs, which is quite good. If in case retail traders jump into fully net longs, then I will start to build my short positions on Australian dollar. So far we saw good reaction. Though this was the point where we got the unemployment rate. After that, we had some the war de-escalation scenarios talking stage, right? With that, the markets went a little bit up, but still I was not I didn't change my V1 AUD USD sell direction. And now we got here we got like 330, around 330. Here we got the inflation rate, right? Right here we got the CPI, right? I will lock this into AUD CPI. Right. so far I think AUD will start to weaken for the next couple of weeks. So what I'm going to look is and I'll show you something interesting also. So week ago there were more high probabilities, and now it's like yesterday was also market participants were expecting 42.1% probability of hike by August 11, and now it has dropped to 31.3, and markets are expecting the rate cut cycle in the mid of 2027, like around March. Right now we have to see if we are getting more negative data, markets will definitely start to price in a rate cut much more sooner than 2027 March. So this is my most favorable trading opportunity from my point of view, right? I will see like AUD USD for sell side, more sell side, right? AUD JPY, I will look into more sells. I didn't take this trade. I will just put into, I'll just change the colors since I didn't take it, right? Anyway, I don't want to keep it, right? I didn't take it. So here we got AUD JPY into a technical structural change. So I think this will be the next movement for AUD JPY. And GBP AUD, I am not that much interested in long in GBP AUD because GBP is not stable for me from my point of view. I prefer more negative news for GBP as well. So with that, I'm not going to touch GBP AUD for a trade with the AUD inflation data. AUD USD, again, I will be looking at these lows, right? I think the price will reach back to these lows very soon, right? Hopefully around like 0.6952, I think the price will come back to these lows very soon, right? After that, Euro AUD, I am quite comfortable with Euro AUD longs, right? This is a quite good position for me, and targeting, like, we can see the levels. Let me see. We can first initially target this levels and see how the market reacts. And AUD CAD, again, not going to touch this one because I'm pretty bearish about the Canadian fundamental data, right? And so the next interesting thing is AUD NZD, which we will next look into. So as you all know, we had the RB and NZD cash rate. It was unchanged, 2.3. It was unchanged, but this was kind of hawkish. Let me get you that RB and NZD 20 set. Here we go. Right. So these are the last from here onwards, 27 here. Right. Sorry, here. RB and NZD projected OCR at 2.51% in September 2026. Like most of the comments, like most of the things were neutral or either hawkish, right? So RB and NZD officials say inflation and offshore risk are bigger worry than the budget. RBI Governor Bremen says current OCR is still a little bit accommodative. RBI said the official says financial conditions have tightened already. Anyways, the overall general outlook was it was a hawkish hold, right? So it was pretty obvious. Like you saw the movements also. So we can think, we can say like AUD being honest, like AUD is, gave us a good movement, so it's quite okay. But for a swing position, I am not interested in touching AUD NZD because I have a very bad past with AUD NZD, as you can see with the uh, what you call, yeah, with the unemployment data also. It got me stopped out with such a good miss in the data. But there's another point, like I don't think currency pair will keep continuing moving against the economic data. At some point it will have to follow the economic data. So far I think this will be the last high AUD NZD is making for a quite recent time period, and I will look into more shorts. Now it's too late for me for have a good risk to reward ratio, so uh, I will patiently wait and see if we can get some good pullbacks, right? So when talking about the NZD pairs, I prefer to get into GBP NZD sales, more sell, right? Still I will wait until the if I get to see if I am getting any kind of pullback by the New York session. If I get a good pullback, I will consider entering to a short position, maybe around these fair value gaps. uh, Euro NZD is also favorable for me to get into a sell trade, right? Still I just marked this, but I didn't take that one also. I will wait for the New York session to see how the markets will react in the New York session. Uh, Again, I prefer NZD CAD more higher. Like I think so. This was my projection last April, right? So it worked as I expected. So it, yeah. So you can see it touched my levels and reversed. So I think this will continue this breaking this high, right? And breaking this high and trying testing the all-time highs, right? Still I need a kind of small retest because this is too expensive for me. Yes, so these are the tradable pairs for me, and I'm kind of bullish on gold also. So after seeing the yield charts, so you can see like a huge downward movement in the yields. So I think gold can go back to for 4,550, somewhere around 4,550. So I had a small scalping trade and I closed the trade and I am holding one position at break even. So I'm kind of risk free in that. And another interesting point I need to show you is this. Oil prices dropping, and there were some rumors that a deal is happening behind the desk, right? Oh, sorry, my bad. Brent and WTI futures fall about $3 as talks to end the Iran war lift oil risk premia off highs. Front month Brent and WTI futures fell roughly $3 as reports of progress in talks to end the war were removed a seizable geopolitical oil risk premium. So this is the reason for the oil price drop in the oil prices. So which is quite positive for stock and now also gold, right? I will show you the stock markets are rising back. So we had a quite decent pullback in Dow Jones, like US 30. Now it's going back to its highs. SPX also trying to making a new all-time high, which makes me tempting to buy more gold at this point. Bitcoin again, good. I think it will try to get back to 80s, roughly 82,000 levels. Yeah, so far this is my outlook. So for the day I did a small scalp and I'm done for the day. And this is the roughly summary. AUD I'm bearish, NZD I'm bullish, and let's see if we can get another trade in the New York session for the NZD and AUD data prints. Until then, let's have a profitable. Let's hope we all have a profitable trading session. And see you in the next live session. See you guys. If you have any questions about my explanations and my framework, just drop a comment and I will explain those things in the next live session.